Good morning. My name is Cameron Barnes and I welcome you to our weekly Saturday morning Community Forum Freedom broadcast. Each and every week we bring you information, inspiration, and opportunity. And today we have a power-packed broadcast, as Reverend Jackson will give special tribute to the life and works of Reverend C.T. Vivian and Congressman John Lewis, two men who have made an unforgettable impact and have paved the way for even my generation. You will hear from one of our oratorical scholars, and you will also see the impact of our Rainbow Push Food Justice program in the Bay Area. Reverend Wilson will share information on the Push Excel summer programs and education town halls this month. Don't forget to get your copy of Reverend Jackson's latest book, Keeping Hope Alive, now available in audiobook format. We want you to join us each week as we push for change, push for equity, and push for justice. Pushing for you is what we do. Join Push. You need to get a membership in Push. Register and get ready to vote in November of 2020. And don't forget to fill out your census form so that we are guaranteed funding for the things that we need. I am Cameron Barnes, and let's continue to keep hope alive.
Good morning. I will recite for you excerpts from What's Your Purpose by Les Brown. You will never have, you will never be, you will never do, you will never experience life the way you are supposed to experience life until you recognize that you matter. It's important for you to know that you are powerful beyond measure. You might not have had anyone look you in your eyes, look into your soul, and tell you not only that you matter, but you are powerful and blessed. We were all created to be winners in this life. What's the difference between a loser and a winner? It's you, not your circumstances. It's you. Your life is what you make it. When you do what you have been born to do, called to do, birthed to do, no one can do it like you. No one can sing the way you sing. No one can speak the way you speak. No one can write the way you write. No one can love the way you love. No one can play that piano quite like you. You are powerful. Life is hard, but giving up, it's not an option. You know that in order to get where you want to go, you gotta do what you gotta do. So if it's hard, do it hard. You can make your family proud. You can make your school proud. You can touch millions of people's lives, and the world will never be the same because you came this way. Don't ever let anyone tell you you can't do something. If you have a dream, you have to protect it. If you want something, go get it. Period. Thank you.
We have a really exciting and informative educational program for you this summer. One, we have our STEAM sports program. We're doing sports virtually. We want our young people to understand the business of sports, but also some of the tools that they will need to be successful, whether they're playing basketball, football, soccer, tennis, volleyball, bowling. All sports require a certain level of discipline. And so we're going to start out with fitness. We have an expert fitness trainer that will teach fitness virtually. Your children, if they're at home, they're sheltered in place, they need to exercise. And we're going to give you and them some tools for exercise. Well, if you don't like fitness, we have Zumba for the parents and for students who want to try a more, I guess it's like music with your fitness. So you have Zumba for the older young people, but fitness training for those who really want to become athletically ready for the fall and for the winter. In addition to that, we're teaching archaeology. Our young people need to understand how our culture has evolved, and you hear about dinosaurs, you learn about it, but we have an expert archaeologist teaching the science of archaeology. They're going to do some virtual digs. That we have some archaeology kits that we will send to students and their parents so that you can understand what it means to be an archaeologist and understand the science of archaeology. We're also going to look at coding. There's so many jobs that are becoming available in this tech world that we live in. We're talking about artificial intelligence and help you understand when you talk to your television, you're using artificial intelligence. When you have Echo in your home, it's artificial intelligence, and we're using robots. So we're teaching our young people the technology, the science of the technology that exists today and is developing even as I speak. They will be learning that in our summer program. It'll be fun. They're going to learn something about virtual reality. You can put yourself in the football game, in the basketball game. You are on the field. You're on the court. You're on the tennis court. You are actually hitting the ball. We'll be doing all of that. You need to register your kids right now. Go to pushexcel.org. Register today. It's not too late. It's an 8-week summer program. Every day we have something different happening. And then on Saturday, we do all of the classes so that if you miss Monday through Friday, pick it up on Saturday. It's only $25. I don't know where in the world you can go and get a virtual education. We have writing classes. Many young people, particularly those who are going to college, you need to know how to write. We have a writing instructor from the University of Chicago. It's called Winning Words, teaching you how to use the words that you think about, you hear about, and write speeches, write your own speeches. Of course, we have a number of other programs. Theater. Some of you are great actors. I've seen you behave in some of our programs. We're going to have some of our young orators in the theater program. We are producing little skits and vignettes, teaching our young people how to use voice control, how to use body language, and how to act out scenes. We may be producing some future actors and actresses in our summer program. We have so much to offer. We want parents, we want you to sign your children up, your students, your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews, the kids on your block. Don't have them running around doing absolutely nothing. This will prepare them for when they go back to school. Everything is virtual. You don't have to show up. You don't have to bring them anywhere. You don't have to pick them up at the end of the day. They're with you, but they're with us online. Once you register, the entire schedule is available to you, so you'll see where they're supposed to be, what they are supposed to be doing each hour of the program. And it'll go for 8 weeks, all the way through the first week in September. It's an exciting program. Oh, I forgot. The end of it, throughout we have virtual tours. We're going to visit a farm. Some young people have never seen a farm, so we're going to do a virtual visit to a black farm in Atlanta, Georgia. They get to see how the things they eat, the things that you buy, how they grow them, how they raise these animals on the farm. So we're going to visit a farm. Also, many young people getting ready, they're high school juniors, rising seniors as they call themselves. We're going to rise them into a virtual college tour. They're going to get on a virtual bus, and we will visit several colleges and universities, visit some historic sites. It is going to be almost as much fun as being on the road. They won't know that they're not on the road, except that they don't have to spend the night away from home. They don't have to pack anything, but we're going to have all sorts of gifts for them. It's going to be so much fun. I'm going to even go on this virtual college tour. And we don't have to worry about COVID because we're not on a bus. We're not in a hotel. But I promise you it's going to be exciting. And then when we finish that, we have something for educators. I know parents, I know you're wondering, what is this back to school going to look like? What do I need to do to prepare my child for school reopening in September? how will it look if they open in August? What will it look like? Well, we're going to have 2 sessions just for you to talk about school reopening. One will be on July 27th, Monday, July 27th from 6 to 8. I'll look at what is K-12 reopening going to look like? What are the issues that school districts are concerned about? What should you be worried about in terms of your child, your teachers, contracting COVID? How will they protect your child? How will your child learn differently? How will the school be organized? We're going to talk about all of those things on July 27th. And then on August the 3rd, we'll look at higher education. I know you're wondering, parents, should I just keep my child home? I know they finished, graduated from high school. College is something we've been looking forward to. Where should they go? What are colleges wrestling with? What does reopening a campus look like? Will they have dormitories? Will they have common meals? How will they eat every day? How will they sanitize? We're going to talk about all of that on August 3rd. We'll have some college administrators, some professors. We'll have some students raise their concerns. We just want to bring you as much up-to-date information that we can. And then we have a third session on August 10th. Some of you are sending your students to majority institutions where they, African-American students and Latino students, they're in the minority. What kind of issues do they face? Black children on predominantly white campuses. What happens after all of the marches, George Floyd, when your child is going back to high school or college in these remote towns where you're not there? What concerns do they have? What kind of issues are raised? Are they being attacked by other students? Will they be safe on the campus? How will they feel in these classrooms? How can we help the schools make sure that they understand the pressures that African American students who are in the minority in these institutions, what the challenges they face living in the dorm, returning to classes, and teachers are raising questions about their ethnicity, their heritage, people hanging nooses in the bathroom. All of that we're going to talk about on August 10th, and we have a panel of experts, a team of young students who are enrolled in these institutions sharing some of the concerns that students have. You don't want to miss this series of educational town halls designed to inform, inspire, and engage you in the movement. Now, one final thing that we're going to be talking about, I know you've heard the president talk about sending federal troops to cities where there are Democratic mayors, where there seems to be a level of violence, whether it's Chicago, Detroit, New York, Atlanta. He's decided to do what he feels is appropriate. However, we believe that it is morally wrong, and we also believe that there's some clear legal issues that he does not have the legal authority to do what he keeps threatening to do. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. Keep watching this broadcast. We want to keep you informed, keep you engaged, keep you inspired, and we want to make sure that all of you, one, make sure that everyone in your house is counted in the census, everyone you work with, everyone you worship with, and everyone that lives in your neighborhood has been counted in the census. It's very simple, very few questions. Make sure that everybody you know gets counted, because that's where resources flow to people that are counted. Want to make sure that everyone you know and who's eligible is registered to vote. Don't have children living in your house that are eligible to register and vote and have not registered. It's an easy process. They can register online. Make sure the seniors you know that may or may not be able to get out in November, they should be prepared now to request an opportunity to vote by mail. We want to make sure that everyone who's eligible is registered and ready to vote. This is a historic and very important election. We cannot let this moment pass, this moment in history. It is really, we're voting to preserve the constitutional protections that we have enjoyed across the years, we're voting to make sure that our country becomes back to the country that it once was, respected on the world stage. We have to make sure that we vote for not just president, we have to vote for U.S. senators. The Senate, remember, determines who sits on the United States Supreme Court, the federal courts. The Senate approves all federal appointments and recommendations by the president. The Senate is a powerful body in the United States Congress. You and I don't need to skip past voting for Senate. You also will vote for members of the United States House of Representatives. And then when you get past the federal offices, you have to think about who's going to represent you at the state level. Some people are running for governor. Some people are running for state legislative seats. State legislators determine your criminal justice policy. They determine funding for schools in your state, both K-12 and higher ed. State legislatures have a lot of power. They make decisions that affect your very life. And so you don't want to skip past that on the ballot. You're going to get tired. Just get yourself a rest. Get you some comfortable shoes so that in November, there are no excuses. And if your state allows it, vote by mail. That way you don't have to worry about sitting anywhere, standing anywhere, and getting sick anywhere. The other thing is, after you get past the state offices, there are county offices. Some people are running for state's attorney. Some people are, and those people are the ones that the police arrest them on the street. It is the state's attorney or the district attorney that approves the charges. You want to know who that is. You want to make sure that person is going to be fair and just. You have to really focus. Don't get tired when you get down to the county races. And then some of people are running for county commission. They determine the resources, the budget for the county health systems, the county educational system, school districts outside of major cities like Chicago. The county controls their budget. They have control over the budget for the sheriff. Sometimes people are running for sheriff this time. Well, the sheriff runs the jails in your county. You need to know who that is and what kind of person that is that's running. And please don't forget to vote for judges. You're going to see a judge before you ever see the president off of television. You will be before a judge either on a ticket, a parking ticket, or moving violation. You're getting a divorce, or you're going to go to probate court because somebody in your family left you something, left you a house, and you don't know that you could probate it differently. You're going to probate because somebody left a will and didn't think about. So at any rate, you're going to go to court. You go to court for child custody, child payment. You're going to go to court for something. You will see a judge before you meet any of these other people. So it's important that you vote for the judges. And they're always at the end of the ballot, and people say, I'm just frustrated. Well, no, don't get you frustrated. You get somebody to sit there with you, because if you don't read well, don't worry about it. You have a right for assistance. Say, I can't see. They'll take your person that can see in there with you to help you see the names on the ballot and get you a sample ballot before you go vote, because you don't want to go in there getting confused, because that's what some of us do. Just get tired. I just ain't going to vote no more. No, I want you to take your time, because this is an important election. I promise you, if you vote and you get everybody in your family, you'll vote together as a family. That way y'all can help each other out. All I'm saying is this is an important season. We're going to keep you informed, want to keep you inspired, but we want to get you engaged. You want to help push? There's so much you can do. We have the Push Excel programs. You said, what are y'all doing? We're doing oratorical, and you're going to see them August the 1st. That's whole Saturday. You'll see our oratorical program. And we expect you who are watching us all over the world, you can have your child in our virtual oratorical program. Sign them up. We have coaches and coaching. We have speech therapists that can help them. Oratory helps. Even if you don't want to be a great orator, you want your child to learn how to communicate. Because wherever they go, they're going to have to communicate with people. So the oratorical program, August 1st. Then August 3rd, our second Push Excel Education Summit. And then August 10th, another education summit looking at Blacks in institutions that are predominantly white. You need to understand these issues as you look at students returning to school in the fall. It's a lot to think about. It's a lot to talk about. If you have any questions, you know what to do. Call us 773-FREEDOM. We're looking to hear from you, and you need to join. If you can't do anything else, you need to join us right now. Go to rainbowpush.org, and you can donate or you can become a member. We need 100,000 members by the end of the year. I know we can. I believe we will. And some of you need to be joining our consumer club. We're getting ready to take some consumer action. One young man says no grocery store in his neighborhood. We can make that happen. You don't have a gas station in your neighborhood. We can fight for that. If you don't have a black car dealer where you are, we can fight for that. If you don't have any black-owned restaurants in your city, we can fight for that. If you don't have any black products on the shelves in your stores, we can fight for that. If you don't see any black contractors working, call us 773-FREEDOM.
Every summer, Push Excel brings you a state-of-the-art summer program. This year is nothing less. We are doing a virtual STEM program, and this year we will have theater, archaeology, music, arts, fitness, basketball, even Zumba. So, family, friends, everybody sign up, ages 7 to 15. Go to www.pushexcel.org for you to sign up for our virtual summer STEM program. As well as at the end of the summer, starting August 15th, join us for our virtual college tour. We will have an entire week of activities for our high school students. Jump on the bus, www.pushexcel.org. All of our high school students, you will not be disappointed.
Praise the Lord, everybody. This is Pastor Joseph Bryant, and I am here in the hallways of our Push Tech 2020 office in the Silicon Valley Bay Area. We are grateful for the opportunity to serve in this season alongside our wonderful legendary leader, Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson. What a blessing it is for us to be able to partner with him as he continues to make impact all around the world. And during this season of challenge and pandemic and all of the social unrest, Reverend Jackson continues to be on the front lines of change, and we're grateful to partner with him in all of the efforts that we're conducting all around the country. In particular, we want to just give a major shout out to the LA Sentinel and to Danny Bakewell and to all of the wonderful partners, Mothers in Action, the LA labor unions, all of the wonderful folks that worked this past weekend in Los Angeles for a phenomenal feeding program. It was just a blessing to be a part of it. We were able to feed over 2,500 families, fresh produce and some canned goods and non-perishables, and just be a blessing to that area in a special way. Rainbow Push was able to provide PPE support. We were able to give masks and sanitizer to attendees. We had water for the volunteers. We were able to give out a lot of information around the census as well as voter registration information. And so we thank you so much for the privilege of being able to do that work in Southern California this week as part of our West Coast focus on food justice. We want to make sure that folks are being fed during these challenging times. And of course, that goes right along with what we're doing here in Northern California, our ongoing feeding program. Every day we're feeding different groups of people, students and families. Those students that would normally be in summer school right now, they are at home, but we're providing meals to them through our partnership with the San Francisco Unified School District, along with our Good Samaritan Resource Center. And then we also have our meals that we're providing for seniors and shut-ins through the San Francisco African American Faith-Based Coalition and various food banks and organizations around the Bay Area, restaurants and those that are coordinating New Deal. So many different partners that we're able to connect with. And I just thank God for the privilege of serving alongside Reverend Jackson and the Rainbow Push family. Continue to give your support to us as we continue to do this great work and reach out to those that are in need as we even raise the flags of justice doing our marches and our rallies. We've now moved from protest into practical actions, and we want to make sure that people are registered to vote, people are signing up for and getting their numbers counted in the census so that we can continue to have funding in our communities. And most of all, we want everyone to just keep a positive and prayerful attitude. This too shall pass. Weeping endures for a night, but joy comes in the morning. I know this night has gone on for several months now, but God is still in control. Continue to support Rainbow Push, lift up Reverend Jackson in the movement, and we'll be with you because fighting for you is what we do. God bless.
Good morning. We are in the midst of a major drive to get more members, more people engaged and involved in Rainbow Push, supporting the programs of Push for Excellence and the Citizenship Education Fund. If you're interested in public policy and you want to help change the policies that impact those incarcerated, change the policies that impact students attending colleges and universities, if you want to be a policymaker, then you need to join Rainbow Push and join by paying your $35 right now. Some of you watch us every week. You listen to us on the radio. You're viewing us in social media. We need you to become a member. It's only $35 a year. If you believe in the scholarships that we give to thousands of students each and every year, we've awarded more than $10 million to scholars year to date. What do you have to do to give and support Push? It's really very simple. You can go to rainbowpush.org if you're on a computer and press donate. Give any amount. Every dollar is important. You want to talk to somebody, call us at 773-256-2775. You can give right now, any denomination that you choose. You can text the word PUSH, P-U-S-H, to 41444. Text on your cell phone. Most of you have a cell phone. Just text PUSH, P-U-S-H, to 41444. And you can give any amount that you feel comfortable giving. Or call us 773-256-2775, or go to rainbowpush.org and just press donate. Wherever you are, you can support us as we keep pushing for you.
Good morning. My name is Phumzile Mazibuko. I'm the Consul General of South Africa in Chicago, Illinois. It's an honor once again to join the Rainbow Push family for the Saturday morning forum. Nelson Mandela International Day is celebrated on July 18th every year and is recognized as an annual International Day of Humanitarian Action in celebration of former President Nelson Mandela's life and legacy. His legacy of Ubuntu, I am because you are, is a rallying call to encourage people across all spectrums in caring for one another, more so for the poor and vulnerable in our communities. Nelson Mandela International Day is a day of service. It is celebrated on Mandela's birthday. It has been supported by the global community for the last 10 years, and it was declared an International Day of Solidarity by the United Nations General Assembly in November 2009. Nelson Mandela International Day calls on global citizens to commit 67 minutes to fight poverty, as well as promote peace, reconciliation, and cultural diversity in commemoration of the 60 years of service to humanity by Nelson Mandela. We all know Nelson Mandela devoted 67 years of his life in service for humanity as a human rights lawyer, a prisoner of conscience, an international peacemaker, and the first democratically elected president of a free South Africa. Our former president, Nelson Mandela, is not only lauded for leading the struggle that led to the dismantling of the evil system of apartheid. He is revered by the international community and South Africans at large for playing a notable role in the world stage as an advocate for global peace and solidarity. This year, the International Nelson Mandela Day takes place under dauntingly challenging times caused by the global pandemic, COVID-19, which has altered the manner in which we work, interact, and communicate as a human race. Sadly, just days ago, on July 13th, the world was confronted with a great loss when South Africa woke up to the news of the untimely death of Zindiswa Zinzi Mandela, the daughter of our late great leader, Nelson Mandela. We offer our deep condolences to the Mandela family as we mourn the passing of a fearless political activist who inspired many in her life. Zinzi Mandela will be remembered for a rich and extraordinary life, marked by many iconic moments. The years she spent banished with her mother, Mama Winnie Madikizela Mandela, to a small town in Bradford. That summer, in February 1985, when she read to the world Mandela's rejection of the apartheid president's offer for a conditional release from prison, her own courage working in underground structures of the African National Congress, her public service as our ambassador to Denmark. President Cyril Ramaphosa led the nation of South Africa in mourning and stated, and I quote, "Zinzi Mandela was a household name nationally and internationally, who during our years of struggle brought home the inhumanity of the apartheid system and the unshakable resolve of our freedom. After our liberation, she became an icon of the task of transforming our society and stepping into spaces and opportunities that had been denied to generations of South Africans. Her spirit joins that of Tata Madiba and Mama Winnie in a reunion of leaders to whom we owe our freedom." Close quote. Lala Ngoxolo, gallant leader, we will remember you. We will remember your strength, your resilience, your activism. We will continue to fight for justice for all. July 18th, today, every year, we invite you to mark Nelson Mandela International Day by making a difference in your communities. Everyone has the ability and the responsibility to change the world for the better. Nelson Mandela International Day is an occasion for all to take action and to inspire change. In the words of our late great leader, Nelson Mandela, and I quote, "We must use time wisely and forever realize that the time is always ripe to do right." Close quote. Thank you so much to the Rainbow Push family, especially to Reverend Jesse Jackson for his support, for his solidarity, even during this time when we mourn the death of Zinzi Mandela. We appreciate your love and support.
Hi, I'm Todd Yeary here outside Dr. King's workshop, the Rainbow Push headquarters, where people of goodwill from all walks and all places gather as comrades in the movement for justice and equality. Social justice movements have been birthed in the imaginations of people in places just like this. You can be a part of this justice movement too. Join Rainbow Push as we fight for justice in the 21st century. Go to rainbowpush.org or dial 773-FREEDOM and remember, keep hope alive.
In America, when we talk about the greatest generation, normally we're talking about, that generation that stormed the beaches of Normandy in World War II. But those folks, when they came home, if you were African American, you still faced racism, you still faced segregation, you still faced Jim Crow. and segregated bathrooms. So the greatest generation for the Black community is the generation that we are losing rapidly now. It is the generation of John Lewis. If you read his speech that he was going to give at the March on Washington before he was compelled to change it, the revolutionary John Lewis, the young radical John Lewis. It is the generation of C.T. Vivian. Not one person who has known him in the last 50 years has ever seen him with a hair misplaced on his head or a suit that was not finely tailored. Joseph Lowry, who left us last year. The generation of James Orange. The generation that fought in Selma and Montgomery. The ones who actually enforced the decree of the Civil War. Because the Civil War ended in 1865. And after that, we had the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, but they were not enforced as a legal matter until 1964. You do not have the Black Atlanta that you have today without C.T. Vivian and without John Lewis. All these African Americans in high-placed positions working at Fortune 500 companies, CEOs, political leadership that has run this city for 40 years since Maynard Jackson. That does not happen without the Black greatest generation. The generation of Andy Young, the generation of Maynard, the generation of Jesse, the generation that went through everything that we saw in the 1950s and decided in the 1960s that they were not simply going to stand by and be victims of history, but they were going to stand up and be the shapers of history. And we see the same movement continuing today. These young folks that you see in the streets that you guys like to complain about, well, why are they burning cars? Why are they breaking windows? Why are they tearing stuff up? Well, what are we going to say when we look at these young revolutionaries in 50 years? Because we criticized, and we're criticized for any form of protest, any form of advancement, but it moved the ball forward. It moved that baton along the relay race. And as the older lions are giving way to the young bulls, what we're seeing is the fight continues. As Ted Kennedy said in the 1980 Democratic Convention, the work goes on, the cause endures, the hope still lives, and the dream shall never die. So as we stand up and pick up and continue and fight onward and fight stronger and longer and harder and make sure that we are not simply the victims of history, but rather the shapers of that history, we have to look towards the models that have been laid before us. Don't just fall into the Black history fairy tale that they like to tell you. You know, we talk about it all the time on this show in February during Black History Month. The fairy tale that they teach our young people as to how we got to where we are today. Martin Luther King and Abraham Lincoln were having breakfast, decided they were going to end slavery. So they rode on the Underground Railroad with Rosa Parks and Harriet Tubman to Selma, and then they picked up some people and went over to Montgomery, then got to D.C. to do the I Have a Dream speech. And later on, Barack Obama was elected president and racism was over. That's not how the fight went. That's not how the battle went. They were players. They were generals in the field who took up and who fought for everything that we have now. It was not given to us. It did not come easily. Lonnie King, who passed in the last couple years, another one of the generals in this movement. Talk to these people while you have the opportunity. Hear from them the firsthand stories and the firsthand tales of what they did. Chronicle what happened. You have to be that historian. You have to be Homer. You have to be Herodotus. You have to be the person who puts these things down. Whether they are famous or not, talk to them. Talk to your old grandparents about what they did during the struggle. Put it down on paper. Videotape it. Record it. Because we have to tell our own story, or else all we have is his story, history. So as we see and we honor our lions as they go off to their eternal kingdom, it should motivate us. It should inspire us. It should give us a Cassia Belli. It should give us a raison d'etre. It should give us that will that we need to fight on and go forward. Don't simply be placated by platitudes. Oh, we're going to write Black Lives Matter on the street, and that's going to fix everything. Nah. You can't look at C.T. Vivian, you can't look at John Lewis, you can't look at many of those who have come before us and passed and think that we are going to simply take symbolism instead of policy. A city like Atlanta, the quote-unquote birthplace of the civil rights movement, the city too busy to hate, and we have a police department that still think they can crack heads on a regular basis. We have a political power structure that ignores the poor, that ignores the homeless, that ignores the disenfranchised. But we're not honoring their memory. So their passing is not the end of an era, but the continuation of a fight. It's not as if what they have done has been completed. The bell just rang, and it is time for us to go to our corner, regroup, recalibrate, and come back out swinging. Rest in heaven, Congressman Lewis and Reverend Vivian.
We're willing to be beaten for democracy, and you misuse democracy in the street. You beat people bloody in order that they will not have the privilege to vote.
Reverend C.T. Vivian first met John Lewis in 1960 at one of several nonviolent strategy workshops taught by James Lawson.
When Jim Lawson came to the city, he began to organize students. We began to understand the philosophy behind it, the tactics, the techniques, how to, in fact, begin to take the blows and still respond with some sense of dignity.
By 1963, Vivian was appointed to Dr. King's executive staff. Dr. King called him the greatest preacher that he'd ever heard. When unrest first erupted in Selma, Dr. King sent C.T. Vivian to the tumultuous Alabama town to be his eyes and ears.
This is not a local problem, Chuck. This is a national problem. You can't keep anyone in the United States from voting without hurting the rights of all other citizens. Democracy's built on this. This is why every man has the right to vote, regardless. We're not blinding me with that light.
C.T. Vivian's nonviolent beliefs were tested when he was attacked by County Sheriff Jim Clark. Bruised and beaten, C.T. Vivian says he was never tempted to fight back. This disturbing footage on the Selma courthouse steps captured the attention of the nation.
If we're wrong, why don't you arrest us?
Why don't you get out in front of the camera and go on?
It's not a matter of being in front of the camera, it's a matter of facing your sheriff.
King's daughter, Dr. Bernice King, tweeting that Reverend Vivian was a brilliant mind who believed that soul force could overpower physical force. She expressed her gratitude for his legacy of service and influence, including in her father's life. Vivian, also widely regarded for working tirelessly to serve underserved communities. He later founded the Black Action Strategies and Information Center in Atlanta to foster workplace race relations. In 2013, former President Barack Obama awarded him the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
My heart is heavy. I want to be with you so bad that today the family advised me not to come because of the pandemic we're facing. And so I accept that challenge. I love C.T. Vivian so much. He's the longest distance runner. In 1947, the year Jack Robinson broke into baseball, C.T. was sitting in Macomb, Illinois. 8 years before Montgomery, 18 years before Selma, C.T. the longest distance runner. He won the public accommodations in Macomb, Illinois in 1947. He's a gift that kept giving. Dr. King was in Morehouse at that time. He supported the Montgomery bus boycott, joined the SCLC. He'd drive for public, he went to penitentiary in Mississippi. Selma, Alabama, just as Louis' blood was shed on the bridge. C.T.'s blood was shed at City Hall. Jim Clark hit him in the mouth, but it hurt Jim Clark's fist, not C.T.'s spirit. He then came to Chicago after Selma. He had the Urban Training Center, and I was his first student. I love C.T. He's my mentor, my friend, my family. Let nothing break his spirit. C.T. The good news is, C.T., you live on. There's a song we used to sing in our church. I'll keep on living after I die. C.T. lives today. He's as alive as he ever was. He remains unlighted, light in darkness. Hope and I just say that we love you so much, my brother. God bless you and keep hope alive.
Keep marching, keep sitting in, keep standing in, keep protesting until the sagging walls of segregation come tumbling down.
John Robert Lewis didn't simply witness history, he shaped it, marched for it, bled for it, not once, not twice, but every time he was called upon. As Lewis liked to put it, by just getting in the way.
We must cry, and we all must cry together, that we want our freedom and we want it now.
The Montgomery bus boycott drew the attention of one teenager, and soon civil rights would become John Lewis's life work. And it nearly killed him, as would become his habit. Where John Lewis put his heart, his head followed. That's him, bruised, bandaged, shedding blood, and standing up when others could not or would not. That became Lewis's calling card. A sharecropper's son born in Troy, Alabama, 1940, back when segregation was law. Jim Crow, the enforcer. By 1963, at the age of 23, alongside Martin Luther King Jr., he was dubbed one of the Big Six leaders of the Civil Rights Movement.
My friends, let us not forget that we are involved in a serious social revolution.
Who helped plan the historic March on Washington. And on a high bridge in Selma, one of the low moments of the entire Civil Rights Movement. There out front, John Lewis. 600 peaceful protesters crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge into the harsh heat of history. It would be known as Bloody Sunday, violence unleashed by Alabama state troopers. Lewis, struck in the head, suffered a fractured skull.
I've interviewed John Lewis countless times the past 30 years.
This spot is almost sacred. This is where Martin Luther King Jr. stood and gave that unbelievable "I Have a Dream" speech.
In one of our last, he was still impatient with America, still boundlessly optimistic she would one day live up to her promise. A promise he believed in so deeply, he was willing to shed blood again and again.
Has the dream been fulfilled?
The dream is still in the process of becoming a reality. It's not there yet, but we're on our way, and there will be no turning back.
I can never speak of John in the past, as I've known John all my adult life. In fact, as John joined the movement that Dr. King had joined, there's a magical period, May 17, 1954 to August 6, 1965. Thurgood Marshall led the drive to end legal apartheid. He changed the structure of the legal system. Rosa Parks decided she would challenge the law to see if it would be verified. Dr. King came out of that movement, and John Lewis came out of Dr. King's movement. We won the legal battle in 1956, the boycott in 55. 8 years of torturous journeys, bus rides, and sit-ins, as we sought to break down the barriers of racial segregation in the South. John, you're the valedictorian of our class. You're number one. You suffered the most. You marched the most. Now we honor you in your legacy and history. Now, 65, the Voting Rights Act, is the most fundamental change in American society. Reverend Marshall, Dr. King, Rosa Parks, Lou Hamer, C.T. Vivian, John Lewis, you all belong in that very special group of freedom fighters. Made life better for us. John, I love you. I thank you, and I'll see you in the morning. I'll see you in the morning, my brother. I'll see you in the morning. God bless you.
When you see something that is not right, not fair, not just, say something, do something, get in trouble, good trouble, necessary trouble.
Congressman John Lewis would want us to continue to make the kind of good trouble. John Lewis was very clear that unjust rules are meant to be broken.
We were at the White House with President Obama having the first intergenerational meeting of civil rights leaders ever. In that meeting, it was just a reminder of his gift, a focus on making sure that we always tackle structures and systems because that's how we change outcomes, and also a focus on the humanity of the people around us.
It doesn't matter whether we're black or white, Latino, Asian American or Native American. It doesn't matter whether we're straight or gay. We're one people, we're one family. We all live in the same house.
John Lewis really talked about how do we redeem the soul of America. He communicated that message that if I'm not free, none of us are free. None of us are free until all of us are free. And he really lived that true essence of humanity.
I want to go forward. I want to continue to be part of an effort to make America one, where we lay down the burden of race, the burden of hate, and create one society, one people.
I know we'll continue to march. We'll continue to march even after he's gone. And, in a way, that's how I kind of see his legacy.
If we can't teach the younger generations, they can't teach the next and next generations to follow.
Our children and their children will ask us, what did you do? What did you say? For some, this vote may be hard, but we have a mission and a mandate to be on the right side of history.
They used to say we were just 3/5 of a man, and we had to fight to be fully recognized. Back then, being counted meant marches, pickets, jail cells, and worse. One way you can show we count in less than 10 minutes is to take the 2020 census. Be a warrior for your community. Be counted and make certain adequate funds and political representation are allocated to your state and your neighborhood. Just select one of these easy options. By phone, call 844-330-2020. online at mycensus2020.gov or simply mail in your survey. Never forget, you are somebody. Don't delay. Take the census today.
I am somebody.
Dr. Kim, I went to jail with a group of 7 students, July 17, 1960, almost 60 years ago. We never stopped moving. I lost a few jail cells and death. We never stopped moving. I thought it was time to write some of it down so the older generation can learn how we did and what we did and how global it was. Whether speaking about Mandela in South Africa, India, Qatar, Gandhi in India, here at home. This book tells the story, so please get it and give it to your friends. Read it, let's argue about it, let's discuss it.
Yep, so the book is Keeping Hope Alive, Sermons and Speeches of Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. It's quite a good collection. You know, we've got sermons and speeches from around the globe because you have made such a global impact, not just here in the U.S., but around the world.
Thank you for tuning in to our International Saturday morning broadcast. We need your support. Here are ways to give to Rainbow Push Coalition. Text PUSH, P-U-S-H, to 41444 to support the work of Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. and Rainbow Push Coalition. When you shop, Amazon gives. Visit Amazon Smile and select Push for Excellence as your charitable organization by starting your shopping at smile.amazon.com.
Get involved with the movement.
Somebody. I may be poor, but I am somebody.
Join the movement.
If you're not a member, become a member.
I am somebody. Fighting the most important battles for freedom and justice for all.
You made us change. Oh, trying to bring closer.
Join Rainbow Push.
But you're not pushing me away.
Join the movement. Join